Greetings fellow cultivators. Welcome to Audio Nova. Remember to like and subscribe to support the journey. Today, we're diving into the story of what's the point of cultivating immortality if you don't have money. Inside the luxurious apartment's training room, accompanied by bursts of booming and blood, Xiong and Lemulin were entangled, their muscles colliding with resounding snap sounds. More forced here. Keep going. Snap. Raise your leg a bit higher. Under Xiong Yu's guidance, Lemulin constantly adjusted her posture and movements, feeling her martial arts skills improve further after today's tutoring session. After all, Xiong Yu's strength had skyrocketed in just over a year, jumping from the early stage of ki refining to the peak, possessing not only immense power, but also a wealth of memories of various martial arts, from level 0 to 10. Coupled with the teaching skills he had honed in the dark tutoring world, Xiong Yu's abilities in this area had reached their peak. He was confident that even in the entire high school tutoring scene of the first stratum, he would definitely be among the top. And over the past few months, Lemulin had been receiving Xiong Yu's guidance almost every week, and she could clearly feel her progress. As the training ended, Lemulin's chest rose and fell sharply with her breathing, her distinct contours visible beneath her sweat-soaked clothes. Thank you for everything these past few months. Lemulin looked at Xiong Yu before her, knowing that she was getting a great deal by having such a master personally guide her, meticulously instructing the operation of every muscle in her body. If the students of Xian High School knew that Xiong Yu's fingertips had brushed over so many muscles on her body, they would probably be willing to replace her, training closely with Xiong Yu, and soaring in their grades. Thinking of this, she thanked him again. With your guidance, I've improved very quickly. No need to be so polite. Xiong Yu waved his hand. You helped us a lot before. If it weren't for your apartment and tutoring fees, Jen and I would still be living under a bridge. However, regarding bodily fluids, I signed a contract with the Oasis Group and can't provide them to others. But tutoring you is no problem. Xiong Yu thought to himself, I can't change Kongshu, but at least I can help those around me. After they chatted for a few more sentences, Lemulin walked to Xiong Yu's phone while he went to take a shower, thinking to herself, Xiong Yu can't buy his bodily fluids because of the contract. But Xiong Yu? In repeated close-quarters training sessions, Lemulin gradually confirmed something through on-site detection, and subsequent consultations with others. Xiong Yu was very hard. So he wasn't sterilized. According to my brother, students who haven't been sterilized are particularly susceptible to being controlled by hormones in their bodies. I can use this trick to subtly influence him, and maybe I can get some of Xiong Yu's materials in future training. Thinking of this, Lemulin squatted down and repeatedly said to Xiong Yu's phone, fishnets. Beautiful legs. Photos. Curves. Contrast. Long legs. Big mine. Lemulin. 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 After repeating these keywords several times, Lemulin thought that the big data should have recorded them, and it would definitely affect Xiong Yu's phone next. That night, Xiong Yu frowned as he browsed his phone, looking at the shopping website that jumped to the stockings page with garbage big data. The next morning, Bai Junjin looked at the large pile of tissues in the waste basket and couldn't help but say, this guy Yu, the number of days he lasted this time, is a bit short. Has his willpower declined because life has been too comfortable recently? When school was dismissed that day, Xiong Yu and Bai Junjin hurried to the patrol team's office building. After several months, they finally had another opportunity to contact Zhang Pianpian. Although they had successfully applied several times before, it seemed that Zhang Pianpian was busy with something and had not been able to talk to them. On the way to the office building, Xiong Yu noticed that there seemed to be more homeless people and beggars on the street than in the past, especially some white-haired, elderly people with missing arms and legs, more than he had seen in the past year. Xiong Yu knew that these people mortgaged their flesh and blood because they couldn't afford to eat, and because they mortgaged their flesh and blood, they couldn't find work, and in the end, they would inevitably have to offer everything they had, with no chance of turning over. Xiong Yu sighed inwardly as he watched this scene, knowing that this was not something he could influence. Are my thoughts still too backward? I still haven't fully adapted to Kongshu. I have to keep working hard. Arriving at the patrol team's office building. This time, as Zhang Pianpian's figure emerged from the screen, Xiong Yu and Bai Zhenzhen immediately told her what had happened in the past few months. Although Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin were becoming richer and richer, and their lives were getting better, they still felt uneasy about the changing situation in Kunshu's first stratum, and they wanted to learn more news through Zhang Pianpian on the second stratum. Listening to their account, Zhang Pianpian pondered for a moment before saying, "You can accept Mr. Wang's money. But apart from work remuneration and endorsement fees, don't get involved in the Oasis Group's specific business, don't invest in it, and don't participate in the operation." Zhang Yu was slightly stunned, and asked why. Jiang Pianpian carefully considered her words and said, "The affairs of the first stratum involve the friction between the 10 greats. To put it simply, some people above believe that the first stratum is already useless, especially the vast poor class here, has become a useless class. Instead of being so useless, it's better to make use of waste and transform the entire first stratum into a breeding ground, a pure raw material supply base. Even some immortals may think so." Hearing these words, Zhang Yu's heart sank, and he suddenly felt a sense of suffocation. The for words useless class were like a heavy hammer hitting his chest, trying to wake him up from his comfortable life during this period. Jiang Pianpian continued, "I have a lot of things on my hands right now. If you encounter troubles that you can't solve, you can contact the true God. It's the true God you added as a friend." Zhang Pianpian seemed to really have a lot of things to do, and the call with Zhang Yu ended soon. On the way back, Zhang Yu looked at the disabled people begging on the roadside, and he seemed to be able to see the future of Kunshu's first stratum. "It has nothing to do with me. This is the general trend of the world. What can a high school student like me do?" Thinking of his powerlessness in this regard, Zhang Yu sighed, feeling a little annoyed. "Why can't I adapt? Zhang Yu, you will be a rich man in the future." Zhang Yu kept telling himself in his heart, "If you want to be rich, want to take care of the people around you, and want to live a good life, you have to adapt to this damn world of Kunshu. Otherwise, what do you want to do? What can an it without even a foundation establishment do?" Just as Zhang Yu's thoughts were surging back and forth in his mind, Feheim suddenly said, "Tell me again what Zhang Pianpian told you." In order to avoid exposure, Feheim chose to completely hide herself before entering the patrol team's building. After Zhang Yu came out and awakened her, he repeated what Zhang Pianpian said to her. Hearing Feheim's question at this moment, Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin repeated what Zhang Pianpian said. Feheim murmured, "HMM. She speaks very cautiously, probably because someone is monitoring your conversation." Zhang Yu was shocked when he heard this. "Monitoring? Is someone going to deal with us?" Feheim said, "It's not normal for cross-stratum calls to be monitored, but Zhang Pianpian being so careful may be related to the information hidden in her words." Feheim analyzed, "Some people above believe that the first stratum is useless, and even some immortals think so." She said some people, not everyone. She told you to only take work remuneration, and not get involved in the Oasis Group's business. Does this mean? Feheim said thoughtfully, "Some people above think the first stratum is useless, but some people don't think so. Some immortals support the Oasis Group's approach, so does that mean some immortals don't support it?" So, she thinks the Oasis Group might be involved in the struggle between the two sides, which is why she told you not to get involved in their business. Zhang Yu's eyes lit up upon hearing this, and he thought, Oasis Group, Netherworld University, the Netherworld Palace's methods. It's just like the demonic sect. Could it be that Kunshu also has a righteous path? Zhang Yu said, "So, is it possible that other righteous sects can't stand this demonic behavior, and will try to stop them from doing this?" Fuji said, "What righteous path and demonic path? If there really are other sects trying to stop them, it's definitely to limit the Netherworld Palace's expansion of power. Just like many areas above that prohibit mortals from raising livestock and have set up standards for resentment discharge, isn't that because other sects' immortal techniques in this area are not good enough, so they use this to restrict the Netherworld Palace? Even if other sects want to stop the Oasis Group now, it must be out of their own interests." Zhang Yu smiled wryly upon hearing this, and thought, "That's right, this is Kunshu after all. I still haven't fully adapted and actually had such wishful thinking just now." Bai Zhenjin asked doubtfully, "But so far, the Oasis Group hasn't been stopped, right? Their plan is going very smoothly." Fuji murmured while pondering, "Maybe. It just hasn't been stopped yet. After all, with the Oasis Group's actions, a large number of wealthy families have been eliminated. A huge amount of resources have been gathered, and the foundation establishment exam has been widely spread. What if this is exactly what another faction wants to see, so they're going along with it? Zhang Yu didn't know if what Fuji said was right or wrong, he just firmly kept Zhang Pianpian's words in his heart. The latest and fastest novels are at 69shu.com. Time flew by, and it was now August. In 1 month, Zhang Yu would become a senior in high school. The entire Songyang city had already entered the scorching summer. The number in Zhang Yu's bank account had also reached a huge 44 million. But Zhang Yu found that as the prices in the first layer of Kangxi rose, the price of the heaven spiritual route he wanted to buy had also skyrocketed, reaching 58 million. However, with Zhang Yu's current income, he could still accept this price increase. As long as he saved for a few more months, he would be able to buy the heaven spiritual route to establish his foundation. And this evening, the phone rang. Zhang Yu found that it was a call from Zhao Tianxing. Zhao Tianxing's name also had a note that Zhang Yu gave him. Everyone laughs at you, but you are the funniest. Seeing this sentence, Zhang Yu remembered the clown theory that Zhao Tianxing had told him, and a smile couldn't help but appear on the corner of his mouth. He answered the phone and asked, "Old Zhao, what's the matter?" But on the other end of the phone came a strange woman's voice. "Excuse me, is this Zhang Yu?" Zhang Yu frowned slightly, and then learned that the other party was Zhao Tianxing's mother. The reason why the other party called was because something had happened to Zhao Tianxing. After his father lost his job, I don't know when he was dragged into gambling, and he secretly mortgaged Tianxing's body to the Oasis Group, without telling us. I finally managed to scrape together enough money to redeem him, but the Oasis company said that the body has already been shipped out. You are familiar with the leaders of the Oasis Group, can you help me get Tianxing's body back? We can pay the money. The 1111th floor of the Oasis Group. President Wang listened to Zhang Yu's intention, and said casually, "Is he your friend?" "It's a small matter, I'll have someone help you check it out." Zhang Yu, who originally thought things would be very troublesome, felt a slight relief in his heart upon hearing President Wang's words. Zhang Yu thought in his heart, in Kongshu, you must have money and power to protect yourself and take care of the people around you. But after a moment, President Wang frowned and shook his head at Zhang Yu. "No, it's already been bought." Zhang Yu was slightly stunned. "Bought?" President Wang nodded and pointed to the sky, saying, "A demon client above bought a large batch of flesh as ingredients. Your friend's body is one of them, and has already been transported to the second layer." Zhang Yu quickly said, "Can it be returned?" President Wang was slightly stunned and said, What did you say?" Zhang Yu said, "Can you contact the customer and get the body back?" Before Zhang Yu could finish speaking, he suddenly felt that President Wang's aura had changed. The original peaceful, kind, and innocent aura gradually disappeared, replaced by an endless chill that hit him, just like a dangerous beast, coldly looking at Zhang Yu. "Zhang Yu, business is business. The goods that have been sent out. You want me to ask the customer to return them? What are you thinking?" Feeling the chill coming from the other party, Zhang Yu recalled Zhao Tianxing's appearance in his mind, gritted his teeth and said, "I can pay compensation." President Wang said lightly, "Is this just a matter of flesh money? Asking the customer to return it, what reason do you want me to do this? When I do business, I always keep my word. Once the goods are out. Unless there is a quality problem, I will never take them back." Zhang Yu continued to speak, bearing the pressure from the other party. "I'll apologize to the customer. He's my good friend, I can't watch him being eaten." President Wang said lightly, "What if he's eaten? I've seen the information on this Zhao Tianxing. Does he have any value? What if this kind of friend is eaten? You should make fewer friends like this in the future." He continued, "Zhang Yu, I'll teach you a sentence today. In this world, you can only become stronger if you eat well. Poor people suffer all their lives and can only endure hardship. If you want to be like me and be above others, you must learn to eat people." Seeing that Zhang Yu still wanted to speak, President Wang said impatiently, "Get out. Figure out your own identity. You're taking my money. When it doesn't harm the company's interests, I can give you face. But if you hinder the company's operation, then get out of here and don't appear in front of me again." Zhang Yu looked at President Wang in surprise, seemingly not expecting the other party to have such a furious appearance. President Wang snorted coldly, "What are you still standing there for? Get out." In the next moment, a golden light flashed, and countless divine power hands had dragged Zhang Yu out. and threw him directly out of the office. Outside the office, General Manager Kahi was not surprised by this. Although President Wang was very good to his subordinates, even joking with him and asking for red envelopes was fine. But if his subordinates angered him, especially when it involved the company's interests, then beating, scolding, and humiliating them were normal. It's just that Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin had been too favored before, and this kind of thing hadn't happened yet. He walked up, patted Zhang Yu on the shoulder, and said, "It's useless to say anything when President Wang is angry, just obediently take the scolding. Wait a few days, after President Wang has calmed down, you can apologize again. He still appreciates you very much, and won't be angry with you all the time." Zhang Yu suddenly asked, "Is there really no way to help my friend?" He was stunned for a moment, then smiled helplessly, "Let him become a soul cultivator." Walking out of the Oasis building, Zhang Yu looked at the vibrating phone. It was a call from Zhao Tianqing's mother. But he suddenly didn't know how to tell the other party. "I'm sorry, old Zhao." Zhang Yu gradually clenched his fists. I can't save you." At the same time, the golden jade hall technique in his mind gradually slowed down, and the effect of the mental technique seemed to regress at this moment. No matter how he visualized the cash numbers in his mind, it didn't seem to bring him the confidence and courage he had before. And just as Zhang Yu was on his way home, his phone suddenly vibrated. "Golden Core Great Cultivator, true person Xing Huo, has entered within 1,000 meters of you. He has accidentally killed 14 people in the past month, and paid all fines and compensation. Please be careful in your words and actions, and do not offend him. Kid, let's talk." Looking at the being before him, whose body resembled glazed glass and who had fiery red hair, Zhang Yu knew that this was the Starfire true person, whom he had never met but had heard about from various people. Following the other party to the rooftop of a building, Zhang Yu asked in confusion, "Senior, is there something you need from me?" Starfire true person laughed heartily, spewing out a series of sparks from his mouth. "Why be so formal with the title senior? You and Yixing are classmates who practice together. You can just call me master." Zhang Yu was slightly stunned. "Master? Starfire true person responded, then smiled and said, "Have you decided which university and major you want to choose?" He looked at Zhang Yu with a smile that was not quite a smile, and asked, "It wouldn't be Netherworld University, would it?" Zhang Yu did not answer directly, but instead asked, "Does Senior think Netherworld University is inappropriate?" Starfire true person said, "Universities choose students based on their grades, and conversely, students naturally have to choose a university when they apply, to see if the university is suitable for them. Netherworld University belongs to the Netherworld Palace. This sex cultivation techniques are known for extracting blood, peeling human skin, and refining living souls. They regard the common people as mere weeds, and they will use any means to achieve their goals. As long as there is enough profit, there is nothing they cannot trade. If it weren't for the obstruction of other sects, they would have loved to refine floors 1 to 10 into breeding grounds to provide them with cultivation resources. I'm not saying whether this immortal path is good or bad, but do you think this path is really suitable for you?" Zhang Yu asked again, "Then which university does Senior think is suitable for me?" Starfire true person said, 10,000 Laws University has always been the orthodox school of the Zhuan Gate, aiming to cultivate seeds of immortals generation after generation, by selecting the best of the best." Fuji, who was listening to Starfire true person's words, explained in Zhang Yu's mind, "Selecting the best of the best means grinding to death, just to grind out immortals. Before becoming immortals, all are just oxen and horses." Starfire true person said, "Students who enter 10,000 Laws University, even if they can't become immortals, can at least give full play to their strengths, and have ample opportunities for practice." Fuji laughed and said, "Ample opportunities for practice means telling you to start working part-time and overtime in college." Starfire true person continued, 10,000 Laws University also has very good guarantees for students. Everything is done according to the rules. As long as you work hard, you can earn money, improve your cultivation, and be able to support yourself." Fuji said, "Being able to support yourself means that your income is not very high during college." Starfire true person said, "Of course, the school also has very high requirements for teachers and students, aiming to cultivate every student into an elite, to contribute to the company, to the sect, and to Kongshu." Fuji said knowingly, the school has high requirements, which means that the usual performance appraisals are very difficult, and graduation and postgraduate entrance examinations are not easy. Making contributions means that you have to work for the company and the sect for a long time after graduation. They didn't cultivate you for nothing. Listening to Starfire Trueperson's promotion, and Fuji's explanation, a trace of understanding gradually arose in Xiong Yu's heart. Speaking of which, the various selection and cultivation mechanisms for immortal talents on the first layer of Kongshu, and what Fuji once said, the practice of making the people below work hard to climb up, desperately grinding upwards, was created by the 10,000 Laws sect and other top 10 sects, right? The difference between 10,000 Laws University and Netherworld University, maybe it's just the difference between one needing oxen and horses and the other needing pigs and sheep. So, those who don't agree with the Netherworld Palace's approach are the top 10 sects like the 10,000 Laws sect, right? Because what they want are oxen and horses who can work, not delicious pigs and sheep. Yes, otherwise what? Xiong Yu sighed inwardly. The contradictions between the top 10 sects, is it not for profit? Could it be for a struggle between good and evil? Seeing Xiong Yu's contemplative appearance, Starfire Trueperson continued, if you are willing to enter 10,000 Laws University, I can introduce you to my university network, which should give you a lot of help. I myself can also provide you with some guidance as your master in the remaining years of your high school life. Alright, I've said what I wanted to say, you can slowly consider how to choose. You can also tell by Genjun what I said today. I'm short on time and will be leaving in a while. Next Starfire Trueperson, there is also a true god, who wants to talk to you. In the next moment, Deng Bingding emerged and said, Student Xiong, long time no see. This time, Deng Bingding's purpose in coming to Xiong Yu was to deal with Wang Yin. Deng Bingding thought to herself, the Oasis Group's other arrangements on the first layer are not difficult to deal with. But Wang Yin is a troublesome hot potato. Neither they, these true gods, nor Starfire Trueperson, who was willing to work for money, were willing to take action against Wang Yin as an individual. After all, taking a salary and overtime pay to clean up the various lackeys under the Oasis Group was no problem for them. But slapping the face of the young master with a deep background in person, and being marked by the other party, was another matter entirely. However, Wang Yin was like a banner erected by the Oasis Group on the first layer, representing the confidence of countless people and attracting the addition of countless talents and aristocratic families. Deng Bingding understood that as long as Wang Yin did not fall, no matter how many times the Oasis Group's hands and feet were cut off, they would grow back time and time again. But that being said, she was unwilling to come forward to suppress this young master, and then be remembered by this young master of the Oasis Group. In this situation, Deng Bingding thought of Xiong Yu. Xiong Yu's background is unfathomable, he shouldn't be afraid of being resented by Wang Yin. Moreover, Deng Bingding thought of Xiong Yu's recent months of staying by Wang Yin's side, endorsing the Oasis Group, and occasionally entering and leaving Wang Yin's mansion and gatherings. Coupled with Zhang Pianpian behind Xiong Yu, and a certain great god behind Zhang Pianpian, she understood that Xiong Yu was definitely not from the Netherworld Palace lineage. Could it be that this is an arrangement deliberately made by a certain great god? From the day Xiong Yu participated in the Foundation establishment examination, he had already entered the game. Replacing Ye Ling Xiao, approaching Wang Yin, infiltrating the Oasis Group, is all to let Xiong Yu clean up Wang Yin in the end. Looking at it this way, Wang Yin came down to run the Oasis Group to gain experience, then Xiong Yu is relying on cleaning up Wang Yin to gain experience. Whenever she thought of this, a chill rose in Deng Bingding's heart. The water in Kongshu is always so unfathomable. Whether it's us or the Oasis Group, I'm afraid we have long been in the calculations of this mysterious great god, and are step by step moving towards the ending he has laid out. And after Xiong Yu heard Deng Bingding's request, he was first slightly stunned, and then felt that Deng Bingding was joking. The newest and fastest novel is at 6-9 book bar first. Me. A second-year high school student to fight the CEO Wang of the Oasis Group. Xiong Yu thought to himself that this would really kill people, not only him, but possibly even Bai Zhenjin would die as well. But Xiong Yu was also unwilling to offend Deng Bingding, this great god, and only wanted to politely refuse. Deng Bingding said, in order to quickly go to the next layer, and also to change to a divine spirit root, to rebuild his foundation, Wang Yin has abolished his cultivation, and no longer has the strength of peak foundation establishment. As for his magical treasures and talismans, it's not like there's no way to deal with them. In short, Deng Bingding meant one thing: they could create opportunities for Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin to deal with Wang Yin. But after Deng Bingding's explanation, she found that Zhang Yu was still refusing repeatedly. At first, Deng Bingding thought that Zhang Yu's refusal was just for show, but soon she found that no matter how she persuaded him, the other party was unwilling to accept. Deng Bingding was not angry, but had new ideas in her heart. Zhang Yu had previously communicated with Zhang Pianpian. On the second layer, he should have received instructions from above. He is now rejecting me. Could it mean that now is not the time to act? Deng Bingding speculated in her heart, and the more she thought about it, the more she felt that this was what the other party meant, and immediately stopped insisting and let Zhang Yu leave. Starfire, true person on the side, watched this scene, and frowned, saying, letting such a high school student fight Wang Yin, what are you true gods thinking? Even if you are afraid of getting burned, wanting to find a knife, this is a bit too much, isn't it? Deng Bingding said faintly, HMPH, Starfire kid, this is why you will fall down even if you climb up. This Zhang Yu is not as simple as you think. To completely end the affairs of the first layer and drive Wang Yin back up, the final move will probably fall into Zhang Yu's hands. Zhang Yu returned to the apartment and saw Bai Zhenjin, who was cultivating, stand up and say happily, Yuzi, you're back. I ordered something delicious, let's eat together. Bai Zhenjin still didn't know the purpose of Zhang Yu's outing, and at this moment, Zhang Yu looked at Bai Zhenjin's happy appearance, and sighed inwardly. It wasn't easy to have the stable days we have now. How can I risk my life? I don't want to risk my life anymore, and I don't want Zhen to lose half her life like before. Endure it, Zhang Yu. Silently endure, silently accumulate strength, until the strength is strong enough, until the day of standing out. And in the following period of time, the people around CEO Wang found that Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin didn't appear at gatherings much anymore. Many people felt that Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin seemed to have been snubbed by CEO Wang, and a burst of joy immediately rose in their hearts, and they worked harder to please CEO Wang, thinking about replacing them. At a gathering, Ye Mantian cursed Zhang Yu. This kind of poor dog can't be fed to full. This kind of guy who climbed up from the bottom, as long as he's fed to full, will think he has enough confidence, his back is straight, and he won't listen to orders. Someone echoed, poor people can't be given too much money. It's useful to throw money at them at first, but after throwing too much, they think they have money too, and they won't listen as much. CEO Wang looked indifferently at these people around him, who were obedient to him, and who began to insult Zhang Yu collectively, because of his actions, just like looking at a group of dogs wagging their tails and begging for mercy, but he sneered secretly in his heart. He had seen too many and raised too many of this kind of tail-wagging, obedient dogs. The more this kind of dog is raised, the more it relies on him, the smaller its courage becomes, and the more obedient it becomes. When it encounters something, it doesn't even dare to show its teeth, so obedient that it doesn't even dare to squeak when its own interests are damaged. Wang Yun used to like raising this kind of dog, but soon he found that this kind of dog was useless, which was also the place where he and his mother had differences. Wang Yun thought to himself, if a person doesn't even dare to fight for their own interests, how can they dare to fight and snatch for the company? If Zhang Yu is also so timid and cautious, even if something happens to the people around him, and he doesn't even have the guts to ask me a question, then his achievements in this life will be limited. Wang Yan knew very well that in Kungshu, you have to dare to fight and dare to snatch, only then will you have a chance to get ahead. If the dogs under your command are all timid and cautious, how can you let them out to bite people? But it's not okay to bite randomly and act recklessly. You can't let their character be worn away, making them lose all courage. But they also can't be ignorant of the rules, biting indiscriminately without my orders. This time, it's a good opportunity to temper Zhang Yu's character, and let him know that the company's interests are the bottom line, and he can't even touch it. Wang Yin planned to suppress the other party, and then find some benefits for him after a while, and properly train this promising talent, so that he can be useful in the future. Time passed by, and in the blink of an eye, it was already September. As Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin officially became senior high school students, a new batch of freshmen also appeared in Songyang High School. Zhang Yu looked at the many new students entering the school, and it was like seeing himself in the past, just as poor, just as weak, and just as anxious. He looked down at the number in his bank account: 43 million. Not only did the deposit not continue to grow this month, but it also decreased due to his spending and debt repayment over the past month. This is because this month's money, President Wang has not yet transferred it. Zhang Yu understood that President Wang was obviously waiting for him to apologize. If he wants to continue to get money from President Wang, he probably has to follow the other party's rules and obediently be his dog. Then what if he goes to Xinghua and chooses Wanfa University? Then he would have to give up the 4 million each month from President Wang, totaling tens of millions of wealth. At this moment, whether Zhang Yu was running the Golden Jade Hall, Heart method, or the Remnant Bull Sacrifice Heart technique, they were all ineffective. It was as if two different forks in the road were placed in front of him, but he didn't want to choose either. Zhang Yu thought of when he first came to Kongshu. He dreamed countless times of being able to escape poverty and become a rich man who didn't have to worry about loan interest. But now, holding 43 million in his hand, he found that the difficulties he faced were still the same as in the past. Either keep suffering, or suffer less, and then be a rich man's dog. Zhang Yu could only keep reminding himself. You have to be patient, Zhang Yu. Just like how you used to endure the Chechen and Lanling. With my talent, as long as I endure, there will definitely be a day when I am strong enough. Just then, with the vibration of his phone, Zhang Yu discovered that it was a message from Cha, the general manager of the Oasis Group, inviting him and Bai Zhenjin to attend a party tonight. At the party, as soon as Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin arrived, President Wang welcomed them in and kept them by his side, taking drugs and drinking. Then he took them to a huge blood pool, and looking at the living-like reliefs on the outer wall of the blood pool, he introduced, "This is a blood pool built on the foundation of 18 key, refining, peak experts. The blood in the pool is connected to their bodies, and the 18 people are constantly using their energy to transport the blood. As long as a person soaks in it, they will naturally be driven by the blood in it, as if these 18 people are transporting blood for you. Just soaking in it is equivalent to cultivating hard, day and night. If you complete your foundation establishment in this pool in the future, you can increase your physical strength to level 12 or higher as soon as you enter foundation establishment, saving at least a year of hard work." Looking at the human figures on the outer wall, whose chests were still rising and falling, and whose hearts were still beating, Zhang Yu didn't feel as uncomfortable as the last time he saw the living clothes rack. After all, after spending this time with President Wang, he basically understood the artistic style and immortal style of the Yuming sect. Basically, they sprint all the way on the birth aspect. There is only what you can't think of, and nothing they can't do. Although Zhang Yu still didn't like this style very much, at least he wouldn't show it on his face. And what Zhang Yu is even more shocked about now, is these look very valuable. Wang Yun is giving away such valuable things. In addition to the artistic style and immortal style of the Yuming sect, Zhang Yu gradually understood Wang Yun's way of doing things. In the situation where he didn't apologize, the other party actually gave him such valuable things, immediately making Zhang Yu feel a bad premonition in his heart. After introducing the blood pool in front of him, President Wang patted Bai Zhenjin's shoulder and said with a doting expression, "Zhenjin, I have something to tell you." He touched Bai Zhenjin's hair and said with some regret, "A distinguished guest above is very interested in your body, and has offered a high price to buy it. Although this business came too suddenly, the price will definitely not disappoint you, so I took the liberty to agree for you. Zhenjin, change your body." Hearing what President Wang said, both Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin looked astonished, as if thunderbolts had exploded in their minds. President Wang slowly stroked Bai Zhenjin's head, as if looking at his most beloved pet, and said, "Don't worry, I won't treat you badly after you change your body. With this blood pool in front of you, and I'll help you choose a powerful body, you'll soon be able to restore your body's cultivation. This time, you just have to suffer a little, and I will definitely cultivate you vigorously in the future, and I will never treat you badly." Director Wang consoled them, saying, "Once you enter Yuming University, you'll realize that changing bodies is commonplace and not a big deal." Looking at Director Wang's harmless gaze, and sensing the matter-of-fact tone in his words, Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin could both feel the sincerity in his statement. He genuinely intended to sell Bai Zhenjin, genuinely believed he was doing what was best for her, felt he wasn't shortchanging her, thought he had offered a sufficient price, and truly considered changing bodies to be insignificant. Just as Bai Zhenjin's body began to tremble with tension, Zhang Yu firmly grasped her hand. Zhang Yu smiled at Director Wang and said, "No problem, Director Wang. I'll agree on Ajun's behalf. But could you give us a few days to prepare? Seeing their calm demeanor, Wang Yan nodded slightly, then go ahead. Leaving the Oasis building, the two walked hand in hand on the way back to their apartment, but neither spoke. It wasn't until they stepped inside the apartment that Bai Zhenjin broke the silence. She squeezed Zhang Yu's hand, pulled him around to face her, and said, Yuzi, don't do anything rash. I'll give you the true spirit root. Changing bodies is fine. Just change bodies. As long as the spirit root is still there, changing bodies isn't a big deal. Like Director Wang said, I'll quickly cultivate it back. Zhang Yu said faintly, what if you can't cultivate it back? What if you can't cultivate it back during these 2 semesters of senior year? What if the new body isn't compatible? What if it doesn't suit your spirit? Zhang Yu shook his head, Jen, I've thought it through. The newest novels are first published on 69shu.com. Bai Zhenjin said helplessly, then what do you want to do? Fight Director Wang. Not to mention how much money, and how many people the Oasis group has, we can't even beat Director Wang's semi-automatic talisman. How can we fight? Bai Zhenjin had extremely strong combat experience, and the observational abilities provided by the true spirit root. It was precisely because of this that she had simulated the possibility of fighting Wang Yan countless times, and the result was always 0. 0 win rate. This was the conclusion she had reached based on her countless past experiences of risking her life and fighting to the death. Zhang Yu said slowly, Jen, I also wanted to endure. He's making a mess in Songyang City, and I endured it. He's stirring up trouble on the first floor, and I still endured it. Old Xiao was sold, and I still endured it. I just thought that as long as I endured it, as long as I had money and my strength improved, I wouldn't have to endure it in the future. But he shouldn't have, now he's even planning to sell you. Layers of cold light appeared in Zhang Yu's eyes, an intense fighting spirit began to gather in his mind. Jen, I really wanted to endure, but this damn Kongshu, this damn world, this damn company, these damn rich people, they keep forcing us to the point where we can't even endure it anymore. So, I've thought it through. In Zhang Yu's mental visualization, the remnant ox that had been dormant for a long time seemed to gradually open its eyes. As far as Director Wang is concerned, as long as someone offers enough, he will definitely sell us. This is the Oasis group, this is the Yuming sect, this is damn Kongshu. To them, we don't even count as pets, just a part of their property. Telling us before selling us, giving us some compensation, and setting a high price, that's already a great act of mercy to them. At this moment, Zhang Yu's face looked incomparably cold, and incomparably calm. The sharpness that had gradually faded with a comfortable life seemed to have returned to him at this moment. But the reverse is also true. If someone offers him enough, he will sell us. If someone offers us enough, we can sell him too. Zhang Yu said coldly, this is damn Kongshu. Fuji, hearing this, suddenly burst out laughing, good job, kid. Your understanding of Kongshu has deepened another layer. She knew that Zhang Yu couldn't possibly give up Bai Zhenjin. Saying anything like before would only make him resentful, so she simply didn't try to persuade him, and instead planned to help him strategize. Bai Zhenjin, listening to Zhang Yu's words, her eyes flickered slightly. If she could avoid being sold and having her body changed, why would Bai Zhenjin be willing to change bodies? At this moment, looking at Zhang Yu's serious appearance, she could feel his determination and his will. Yuzi, I understand what you mean. I also don't want to sell my body. She exhaled a breath, and the sword intent in her eyes gradually solidified, then let's not endure it. At worst, we'll fight to the death. Anyway, we poor ghosts have to carve out a path in this world, and fighting to the death is always indispensable. We have indeed lived too comfortably in the past 6 months. Tell me, what are you planning to do? Fuji reminded him, judging from your last conversation with true person Xinghe and Deng Bingding, the upper sect is using the true god and this golden core true person to deal with the Oasis group. You need to borrow their power. Zhang Yu opened his phone's address book and found Deng Bingding's contact. He directly contacted Deng Bingding and asked, how do you want to deal with him? Deng Bingding's heart stirred slightly. It seems the time has come. Listening to Nova. After hearing Zhang Yu's inquiry, Deng Bingding roughly explained the current situation. Relying on the efforts of their several true gods and many outsourced employees, the illegal and criminal content of the Oasis group has been almost completely investigated. With the power of the true gods, once these matters are used to target the Oasis group, it will immediately cause significant losses to the other party, bankrupt countless employees, and severely weaken the power of the Oasis group. Zhang Yu was not surprised by this. Given the style of the Oasis group and President Wang, as well as their approach of wanting to transform the entire first layer and wipe out countless powerful families, it would be impossible for everyone in the company to be law-abiding. It's just that before, relying on the powerful influence of the Oasis group and President Wang's various relationships, the illegal and criminal content was either suppressed, hidden, or dealt with by scapegoats. In short, various methods were used to reduce the impact and not delay the Oasis group and Wang Yun's plans. Deng Bingding continued, but no matter how many people under the Oasis group go bankrupt or die, it's meaningless if Wang Yun can't be dealt with. With the wealth he controls, he can recruit more people to work for him at any time. After all, you know the current employment environment. Many high school and college students, who can't find jobs, will send him resumes. He himself even has a license to kill, and a criminal immunity certificate, on the first layer. In most cases, even if he violates the law and commits crimes, he can be exempted by paying a fine. In the rare cases where a fine is not enough, his behavior needs to be reviewed by departments above the second layer before he can be arrested. A license to kill. A criminal immunity certificate. Zhang Yu was speechless. Although he had long known that Wang Yun was very powerful, he couldn't help but curse Kung Shu in his heart when he heard these things. Deng Bingding continued, so, the simplest and most effective way is to directly severely injure his soul and force him to return to the upper level for treatment. As long as the Oasis group on the first layer doesn't have him in charge, the companies and powerful families below will already be full of contradictions and will soon be a mess. It won't be difficult to clean up. Zhang Yu said, then, why not let real person Xinghe, this golden core cultivator, deal with him? Deng Bingding sighed helplessly. Xinghe is old, and no longer has the courage. It still requires a young talent like you to have the courage and spirit to do this earth-shattering event for the hundreds of millions of people on the first layer. It just so happens that you are also an outsourced employee of the inspection team, so at least creating a little opportunity will give you an excuse to legally take action against him. We, the true gods, are already and willing to fully assist you, severely beat Wang Yun, and drive him back up. Hearing this sixth-rank true god start to flatter him, Zhang Yu became more vigilant. A bunch of you golden core cultivators and sixth-rank true gods are unwilling to take action, and want me, a high school student, to rush to the front. But Zhang Yu, who had been tested in Kung Shu for a long time, naturally did not refuse outright. Although he didn't have the idea of rushing to the front, he still had the intention of bargaining and asking for benefits from this matter. Zhang Yu said with a regretful expression, it's just a pity that I'm just a high school student with no skills. I can't even beat President Wang's semi-automatic talismans. I'm afraid I can't help. Deng Bingding said, Wang Yun came down this time to gain merit and obtain the divine spiritual root authority after returning, so he can rebuild his foundation with the divine spiritual root. In order to get down to the first layer faster, and to rebuild his foundation, he directly abolished his foundation establishment cultivation. At this moment, he is still in the key refining realm. As for his semi-automatic talisman incantation, we can help you cut off his network and temporarily block it. We will also have people help you hold back those subordinates. In Deng Bingding's description, on the other end of the phone, Wang Yun, with these waves of weakening, seemed to have become an ordinary key refining cultivator, appearing weak and vulnerable. But Fuji reminded Zhang Yu in his mind, don't listen to her nonsense. The so-called self-abolition of cultivation, during the foundation establishment stage, is to cut off the fusion of the spiritual root and the body. In this way, the spiritual root will be abolished, and the mana and physical strength will also regress severely. But even so, the Tao heart level can retain a part. No matter how much the mana and physical strength regress, it is still above ki refining after all. Overall, Wang Yun's strength is definitely far superior to any ki refining cultivator. Moreover, who knows what kind of Dharma body he has equipped himself with, and what kind of protective magic treasures he has brought down. In short, he is definitely not as easy to deal with as Deng Bingding said. If you want to fight this Wang Yun, it must be after foundation establishment to be a little safer. Ask her for more. Under Fuji's reminder, Zhang Yu shook his head repeatedly. No, no, even so, he still has a Dharma body, magic treasures, a set of powerful techniques, and who knows how many trump cards. My skills are so low, I don't even have a flying sword, a Dharma body, or a heavenly spiritual root. How can I fight him? Deng Bingding curled her lips, knowing that the other party was asking them for benefits. She was not surprised by this. In Kongshu, when asking someone to do something, who doesn't want benefits? If the other party really didn't want anything, she would have to suspect that there was a trick. Deng Bingding immediately said generously, I can apply for a 20 million interest-free loan to support your operation. Zhang Yu thought to himself, 20 million to have me fight President Wang. This true god is really black-hearted. So Zhang Yu still shook his head and said, it's not that I'm unwilling, it's just that my strength is insufficient. With my level, I'm afraid I need a military-grade flying sword, or a military-grade Dharma body, or a divine spiritual root, or a military-grade technique, to be able to fight President Wang. Deng Bingding thought to herself, military-grade supplies. This kid's appetite is too big. She replied, with your strength, you can win without these. Moreover, we will lend you a magical artifact that can help you severely damage Wang Yin's soul. Once his soul is injured and difficult to heal, he will inevitably have to return. Zhang Yu said, I'm afraid my strength is insufficient to take on such a great task. I should just provide you with information about President Wang. After some back and forth, Zhang Yu gradually probed some of Deng Bingding's bottom lines. For this righteous god, providing support in the form of physical resources is difficult. However, she is more willing to give away various electronic manuals and copyright to cultivation methods. Then there's the leasing of Dharma corpses and magical artifacts, which she's also willing to provide. So, after some discussion, Deng Bingding promised that as long as Zhang Yu was willing to take action, in addition to the 20 million interest-free loan, she could also lend a set of foundation establishment stage, Dharma, corpses, and provide 3 foundation, establishment, stage, cultivation, methods. Among them, the Dharma corpse was the flood dragon spiritual pivot that Zhang Yu had seen during the foundation establishment exam. And the 3 foundation establishment stage cultivation methods were the most valuable. In particular, one of the cultivation methods was a former military-grade technique, which was only recently disused due to advances in immortal now technology, and rated as an expert-level technique. It has not yet begun to be sold on the market. Deng Bingding said, foundation establishment stage cultivation methods are already difficult to buy in the first level, and this former military-grade technique is even rarer. If it weren't for a stroke of luck, other foundation establishment cultivators in the first level might not be able to buy this cultivation method, even if they spent tens of millions. When Zhang Yu heard about this former military-grade technique, he had to admit that he was very tempted. Deng Bingding, as for the other 2 foundation establishment stage cultivation methods, we can provide you with follow-up techniques to choose from based on the cultivation methods you practice during the key refining stage. The newest chapters are first published on 69 book bar. All of Zhang Yu's own cultivation methods have reached level 10 and are difficult to improve further because that is the limit of the key refining stage. But if he enters the foundation establishment realm, then some cultivation methods will have follow-up techniques for the foundation establishment stage. As long as he obtains the relevant electronic manuals and copyrights, he can cultivate them to the level 20 foundation establishment limit. Which means, as long as I enter the foundation establishment realm, I can immediately choose 2 foundation establishment techniques to raise 2 of the cultivation methods I practiced in the key refining realm to above level 10. But if Zhang Yu is only willing to provide some information and do some internal work, the other party will at most approve a few 100,000 or 1 million interest-free loan. According to Deng Bingding, they do not lack intelligence, but only lack heroes who dare to attack Wang Yin. Zhang Yu did not agree or refuse for the time being, only saying that he needed to consider it, and planned to discuss it with Bai Zhenjin and Fuji again. Deng Bingding said lightly, then I will wait for your good news. As long as you agree, I will immediately approve the 20 million interest-free loan for you. Although he was very greedy for this 20 million, Zhang Yu still did not immediately agree. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Yu told Bai Zhenjin and Fuji about the situation. Although the 2 had been listening on the side, Zhang Yu still told them everything again to avoid any omissions. Fuji said, 3 foundation establishment stage cultivation methods, including 1 former military grade. The things given are indeed good, Bai Zhenjun said, but fighting Wang Yin head-on is very risky. After all, he knows us very well, but we know nothing about his trump cards. And even if we win, we will definitely be targeted in the future. Fuji reminded, if you decide to fight Wang Yin, foundation establishment is a must. Moreover, in the current situation, every point of improvement in your strength means 1 more point of safety and opportunity. Even if you don't end up colliding with Wang Yin head-on, foundation establishment can give you more protection. In short, the matter of foundation establishment can no longer be delayed. Take advantage of this temporary lull, and complete foundation establishment first. Zhang Yu, let Bai Zhenjun transfer the money to you first to help you by the heaven spiritual route. Zhang Yu also understood that compared to Bai Zhenjun, because of the existence of the Feather Book, as long as he could learn the foundation establishment stage cultivation methods, his strength improvement after breaking through to foundation establishment would be faster, and he could transform into more combat power in a short time. Zhen's foundation establishment will have to be delayed again. If it weren't for this incident, Zhang Yu wouldn't want to spend Zhen's money, or borrow tens of millions, and lose a large amount of interest. After all, he only needs to wait a few more months to buy the heaven spiritual route. But now that the situation has suddenly changed, he can only seize the time to establish his foundation first. Bai Zhenjian didn't hesitate and immediately operated her phone to prepare for the transfer. Zhang Yu knew that in Kongshu, the money in this bank account was like their cultivation, resources, and immortal Dao foundation. And if you want to use the heaven spiritual route to break through to the foundation establishment realm, it is absolutely impossible without a foundation of more than 58 million now. Fortunately, after these 9 months of accumulation, the combination of my and Zhen's foundation is enough for me to break through to the heaven spiritual route foundation establishment. However, not long after Bai Zhenjun transferred the money, she discovered that her funds had been frozen. At this time, President Wang's phone call also came, and he asked, Zhen, why are you suddenly transferring so much money to Zhang Yu? He said with a smile, when the company transferred money to you, I was afraid that you would suddenly get so much money and spend it recklessly. So, any large amount of capital flow will be notified to me, and I will use a talisman to temporarily lock it for you. You want to transfer so much this time. Could it be that you want to build a foundation? Why didn't you tell me? Building a foundation is risky. If you want to build a foundation, you must come to the Oasis building and let me protect you. Wang Zhang's words were full of kindness, but Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjun felt a chilling coldness creeping in. This guy. Zhang Yu thought, from beginning to end, he never intended to let us spend this money freely. Even if we scrape together the money to buy a heavenly spiritual route a few months early, we still have to get past him. So, actually, from 9 months ago, from the moment he transferred the money to us, we have to get his approval, and be under his nose to establish our foundation. This guy has been playing us all along. No wonder he didn't seek a true God's witness when signing the contract. This guy never intended to fully abide by the contract. I thought this would give us more freedom, but in reality, it gives him the least restraint. Zhang Yu instantly understood that for the aristocratic families of Songyang City, seeking a true God's witness when signing a contract was to ensure the contract's execution. But for superiors like Wang Yin, his wealth and power were enough to ensure the contract's execution at the first layer, and having a true God witness the contract would only create constraints for him. Also, things like monitoring other people's accounts and freezing their funds definitely involved irregular operations, but Wang Yin obviously had the assistance of a true God behind him to be able to do this. At this moment, Zhang Yu felt that all the cultivation resources he had accumulated over the past 9 months to attack the heavenly spiritual route foundation establishment were now firmly held by Wang Yin. Zhang Yu suppressed the anger in his heart and explained, Zhen wants to put the money with me for safekeeping before changing her physical body. Wang Zong dissuaded, it's just changing a physical body, it's not like you're dying, why bother with so much trouble? I'm helping you watch over your account's security, don't worry. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjun felt immense pressure coming towards them. Over the past 9 months, Wang Yin had constantly influenced them and guided them, as if leaving chains on them one by one. At this moment, those chains began to tighten one by one, like layers of suffocating pressure, to suppress him and Bai Zhenzhen firmly, holding them firmly in his palm. But the more it was like this, the more Jiang Yu could feel the residual bull he was visualizing in his mind becoming active. Everything he experienced today was like a thunderclap, completely awakening the residual bull, causing it to struggle, to roll, to roar. And in this familiar feeling, Jiang Yu felt his brain, muscles, and blood flow all becoming more and more active. Oasis Building, 1111th floor. After hanging up the phone, Wang Yin thought to himself, Jiang Yu, this kid. What is he trying to do? I thought he had become obedient before. Now it seems, he has learned to act in front of me. Such a large transfer of funds suddenly, is he trying to establish his foundation early? Is he trying to do something behind my back? After thinking for a while, Wang Yin was still worried about Bai Zhenzhen. After all, Bai Zhenzhen was the goods he had promised to the higher-ups, so there could be no loss. So he instructed Kai He outside, go to Jiang Yu and Bai Zhenzhen's apartment, and bring Bai Zhenzhen over. Kai He nodded in agreement, and then respectfully withdrew. A moment later, he brought a team of people to Jiang Yu and Bai Zhenzhen's luxurious apartment. He casually swiped his phone, and the apartment door opened naturally, allowing them to enter without any hindrance. But after a search, Kai He immediately frowned and called Wang Yin, Wang Zong, Jiang Yu and Bai Zhenzhen are gone. Wang Yin's eyes narrowed and said, send people to guard all the entrances and exits of Songyang City. You personally go after them, and tell me what support you need. On the street, Jiang Yu and Bai Zhenzhen looked at the surveillance footage coming from their phones, which was recorded by the surveillance cameras they had placed in the apartment. Looking at Kai He leading the team in the picture, Bai Zhenzhen frowned and said, Wang Yin is indeed suspicious. Now that they can't find us, they will probably mobilize their manpower to search the entire city. Jiang Yu pulled Bai Zhenzhen and ran towards the suburbs. Let's go. They have the help of a true god. They must already be tracking us. Bai Zhenzhen said angrily. Wang Yin, this guy, not only monitors accounts, freezes accounts, but also sends people to arrest us at the slightest disturbance. Fuji analyzed this guy as different from Zhi Chechen, Zhu Yang, or Song Zhu that you met before. Your previous opponents had to abide by the rules of the first layer to some extent. And this guy Wang Yin, after coming to the first layer, is going to flatten the first layer with 1 foot. Many of the rules of the first layer are just paper to him. Damn it. I think even the evil gods are more law-abiding than him. Jiang Yu also deeply understood at this moment why Kongshu strictly controlled the upper-level people from coming to the lower layers. Just one young master like this is so lawless. If more come, God knows what they can turn this layer into. When the rules of the first layer have limited effect on these people, then using the simplest and most direct way to achieve their goals often becomes their first choice. At this moment, Jiang Yu felt that Wang Yin was like a giant beast, following closely behind him, not intending to give him any chance. But the more pressure there was, the more Jiang Yu felt the mental cultivation technique running faster and faster, and the residual bull visualized in his mind seemed to be excited. We can't just sit and wait for death. If we keep running away like this, they will catch up sooner or later. While running, Jiang Yu dialed Deng Bingding's contact information, the thing we talked about before. I agree. Start immediately, send all your manpower to Songyang City. Deng Bingding said true, gods can only support you at the network level, and cannot directly descend to participate in this battle. The outsourced personnel who can participate in the battle are currently working overtime, all over the first layer. If they gather towards Songyang City, it will take about 6 hours to form an effective combat force. Although he knew that gathering from more than 20 million square kilometers of the first layer, within 6 hours, was not slow, Jiang Yu couldn't help but think it was too slow when he thought of his current situation. Jiang Yu couldn't help but say, I'm in trouble here, and I'm being hunted down by the people from the Oasis group. Deng Bingding frowned, thinking, could it be that Wang Yin discovered our plan? Did Jiang Yu reveal his flaws? Or did someone here secretly pass on the message? Deng Bingding was also unsure for a while, but also knew that now was not the time to think about these things. She said, I will send the patrol team to cover you, and delay their time. You must hold on, and wait until our manpower is gathered before taking action. Jiang Yu said, then I have a few extra requirements. I need the things we agreed on before now. I also want a secret account, and I want an interest-free loan of 60 million. I also need you to help me hide my whereabouts. Listening to Zhang Yu's exorbitant demands, Dang Bingding calmly said, I can help you open a secret account, and I can get it done immediately, and I will also have someone protect this account. But as for the money, our budget here has been used up a bit too much recently. Speaking of this, Deng Bingding thought of Xing Zhenren, who had been earning overtime like crazy recently, as well as a large number of other outsourced employees. She continued, I can offer a maximum of 25 million in interest-free loans on my end. Anything more would require approval, which would take about 5 to 10 business days. Zhang Yu frowned slightly, thinking to himself that it was too slow. We can't just wait for the support of the true gods. That's just waiting for death. We need to find a way to establish my foundation, quickly, and master stronger combat power. It seems that the only option now is to completely release the immortal Tao potential of Ajin, and me to help me break through to the heavenly spiritual route foundation establishment. Meanwhile, he was leading more than a dozen key refining peak experts, tracking Zhang Yu's whereabouts, all the way. A large number of surveillance screenshots, mobile phone signal data, network data were constantly transmitted to him, allowing He to get closer and closer to Zhang Yu and the other. Ye Mantian in the team was even more excited. Although he didn't know how Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin had offended President Wang, he felt that his chance to avenge his previous humiliation was coming. According to the other party's travel data, they surrounded and pounced, but soon discovered that there was no one at all at the location marked on the phone. He frowned and said, What's going on? A true god's voice came from his phone. There are other true gods covering for them. But it doesn't matter. The entire Songyang city is full of my eyes and ears. The other party can create some false data, but they can't create all false data. They can't escape. In the Divine Power Network, along with the respective actions of the true gods on both sides, a large amount of data containing Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin appeared and disappeared. Although this data was true and false, and constantly changing, after a large amount of monitoring data in Songyang City was cross-verified, Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin's escape route was finally found little by little. But at this moment, a group of Songyang patrol team members stopped them. Routine inspection. Please cooperate. The newest novels are at 69shu.com. He said, I'm very familiar with your captain. The other party said coldly, please cooperate. He said, then can I make a call? To President Wang. After speaking, regardless of whether the other party agreed, he had already dialed Wang Yun's phone. The patrol members present couldn't help but stop their actions and waited silently for he to make the call after hearing the words President Wang. Inside the sewer. As the interest-free loan approved by Deng Bingding arrived, the funds in the secret account reached 25 million. But this number was still far from the 58 million price of the heavenly spiritual route. So Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin moved quickly in the sewer while constantly operating their mobile phones, downloading one loan platform after another. Bai Zhenjin's fingertips brought up a series of afterimages, and while operating, she said, Yuzi, I found another one here that can get 300,000. Zhang Yu said while clicking on the link shared by the other party, well, I just approved 250,000 from Inshin loan, you can try it too. Last year, Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin's immortal Tao potential had been exhausted and almost all loan limits had been reached. But with the acquisition of the Foundation Establishment Qualification Certificate, coupled with the Oasis Group's publicity, the two people's immortal Tao potential can be described as skyrocketing, exploding, increasing sharply. At this moment, under the full sprint of the two, the incomparably majestic immortal Tao potential was constantly stimulated and converged towards Zhang Yu's body. Under such operation, in the secret account, the fund symbolizing Zhang Yu's immortal Tao potential, at this moment, also soared all the way, quickly rising from 25 million to 28 million, 30 million, 40 million. It seemed that the requirements for heavenly spiritual root, foundation, establishment, were getting closer and closer. But the number finally stopped at 43 million. Bai Zhenjin looked at the number of 43 million and frowned. We have borrowed from all the platforms we can borrow from. If we want to buy heavenly spiritual root foundation establishment, we are still at least 15 million short. Zhang Yu frowned beside him. After a while, his eyes suddenly lit up. No, there is still more. You forgot that we still have a spare immortal Tao potential. Inside Beilong High School. Yu Xingyan looked at the vibrating phone and saw a message from Zhang Yu. I am Zhang Yu, the strongest high school student on the first level of Kongshu. I am now encountering an emergency and need to break through to the heavenly spiritual root, foundation establishment. I am a little short of money for emergency use. If you lend me money now, I will return it 1.3 times in the future. Crazy. Xiong cursed in his heart and turned off the phone screen. But after a while, he still called and asked, "Hello? Has your account been stolen?" Hearing that the other end of the phone was indeed Xiong, and that the other party did want to borrow money, Xiong hung up the phone. Then he thought about it and finally picked up the phone. "You better pay back 1.3 times. This million or so is my hard-earned money." Inside Xian High School, Lemulin was slightly stunned after seeing the message on her phone, and then called to confirm its authenticity. Then, while transferring money, she thought, if Xiong really succeeds in foundation establishment, then the materials on his body are the materials of a foundation establishment ancestor. Thinking of this, Lemulin felt a little excited. Qian hung up the phone, and looked at his parents, and said, "Dad, Mom, I want to lend some money to Xiong. Are you worried that he is cheating money? How is that possible? Scum with less than 550 points may exaggerate. But a competition champion with more than 660 points, a winner in the foundation establishment exam, is unlikely to lie. Investing in this strongest high school student, under the college entrance examination system, I think it's a sure profit without loss." In the spirit realm, Mo Tianyi sent a message to everyone. "I have confirmed that Xiong urgently needs a sum of money to break through foundation establishment. Everyone's salary has been paid, right? Those who have money should lend some. Xiong is, after all, a genius who has finally emerged from our poor people. It is not easy for him to establish a foundation." Inside the protected area, Zhang Wenwu, who was rubbing against the spiritual vein, looked at his phone, and said, "Anan, I'll transfer it to him. You should save your money." Anan disagreed. "I just got paid 2,500, 1.3 times is 3,250. Inside the temporary rental house, Zhao Tianxing's mother looked at the message content sent by Xiong, and her originally excited expression gradually returned to calm. At this moment, Zhao Tianxing's voice suddenly came from the computer not far away. "Mom, call to confirm the truth. If it is indeed a message from Xiong asking to borrow money, then use the money you raised to redeem me to lend to him. I believe in Aoyu's character. He will definitely pay back 1.3 times. We need this money." On the company battlefield, Xing looked at the message that emerged from the eye skeleton and was a little surprised. Borrowing money to establish a foundation? Is this guy really at odds with Wang Yin of Oasis? After confirming the authenticity of the message, Xing thought, "This disciple of mine has some backbone." He was about to transfer money, but then he remembered that most of his money was now stored with his daughter. So he sent a message to Li Zulian, "Lend some money to Xiong."